Hello guys, welcome to my channel Chem Insider. So in today's class we are going to discuss about the uses of electrochemical properties in metallurgy. In the previous classes we have discussed about how to extract a metal using some of our Ellingham diagram or reducing property, etc. So now in this class we are going to extract metal with respect to electrochemistry or electrochemical principles. So that is, we are using electric current in order to extract metal from its metal ore. For this kind of process, we have to remember a topic known as electrometallurgy and hydrometallurgy. Electrometallurgy and hydrometallurgy. So these are the two metallurgical processes which involves electric chemical principles. Metallurgy. So these two processes of extraction of metal from its ore involves different electrochemical principles. So what are those principles are? So for electrometallurgy, what is this electrometallurgy and how does this work for extraction of metal? So electrometallurgy is nothing but we need to extract a metal by passing or by electrolyzing them. So we have to convert a metal to its reduced form from its oxide by electrolytic process. That is, let us say if I am having a metal in its oxide state. Okay, now I am considering the point from once it is roasted and calcinated completely to its respective metal oxide. Now I am taking a metal oxide of type MO. If you have to reduce this metal oxide MO, how we do it is we either treat them with carbon or something like that. In this process, what we are going to do is we are going to electrolyze them. We are going to electrolyze the metal oxide in such a way that we reduce its oxidation state. So in this MO, let us say this is of M2 plus state. So we are reducing this M2 plus by donating electrons to them. So by giving electrons to the metal in its ionic form, we convert them to metal. Okay. So now let us see Mn plus with n number of electrons. In such a way, in this particular reaction, we observe electrochemical attraction between or electrochemical system between our metal ion and its respective metal atom. So, in order to reduce a metal ion to its respective metal atom, what we have to do is we need to electrolyze them. That is nothing but we are donating electrons to reduce from metal ion to metal atom. So, this reduction process completely depends upon the standard electrode potential of that given metal ion. That is, its tendency to get reduced. In the previous classes, we have in previous year of chapters, we have discussed about electrochemical series in the electrochemistry chapter. In that, we observe that metal are arranged in their particular order of reduction. Metals are arranged in the particular order of reduction, that is metal ion Mn plus gaining some electrons to form its respective metal, and they have particular electrode potential delta E of some values. Okay, so that electrode potential values, which is what we are going to use in this electrochemical process of metallurgy. So how is that possible for a metal to get electrolyzed? So in this case, what we do is we are going to choose a certain metal to reduce this metal ion to its metal atom. That is, let us say for an example, if you have to reduce copper, to its copper ion to copper atom, that is Cu2 plus to Cu, we know its electron value, standard electrode potential of copper is found to be 0.34 volts. Okay, so this 0.34 volts is nothing but if you use this electrode potential for the formation of delta G value, we can say that delta G is equal to minus NF E naught. This is our formula for Gibbs free energy change with respect to electrode potential. So, more and more positive the E naught value, greater is the tendency for our metal ion to get reduced to metal. If the electrode potential value is positive, delta G will be negative. So, for a reaction, if delta G is negative, we can clearly say that that metal process of reaction will be feasible. So in this case, what we are observing, Cu2 plus to get converted to Cu, it has E naught of 0.34, that is of positive value. If E naught of this value is positive, then delta G will be negative. That means conversion of Cu2 plus to Cu is more and more easier. So let us say for a different example, of Fe2 plus 2 Fe formation. For Fe2 plus to get reduced to Fe, we have E naught of minus 0.44 volts. E naught of conversion of Fe2 plus to Fe is minus 0.44 volts. If you substitute that value over here, minus minus get cancelled and delta G becomes positive. So here what we can say is iron cannot get reduced, right? Iron does not support reduction. For the reduction of iron 2 plus 2 iron is not feasible. So what can we do is we can reverse the reaction and then we can convert Fe to Fe2 plus, then the 0.44 value get converted to plus 0.44, then delta G will be negative. So in this case we have Fe which can get oxidized to become a feasible reaction, and in this case we have copper 2 plus which can feasibly form copper. So if we have to reduce copper 2 plus ions to copper, we can use ferrous atom and first oxidation that to Fe2 plus ions. So thus we can use a suitable reducing agent according to its electrode potential value. Okay, so this electrode potential value defines how we are going to extract metal from its metal oxide by reducing those metal ions to metal atoms. So now for the hydrometallurgy process, what we are going to do is, instead of electrolyzing them, we directly treat them with a proper reducing agent under electrolysis process and convert them to its proper metal. So we are going to discuss more about hydrometallurgy later. First, for the electrometallurgy process, we have an example for extraction, that is extraction of aluminium. That is extraction of aluminium from its bauxite ore oxide. Extraction of aluminium. Extraction of aluminium. So for aluminium, we have aluminium in its oxidized state Al2O3 dot 3H2O. So this is the bauxite ore formula. So Al2O3 3H2O, this is for our bauxite ore formula, metal ore of bauxite, that is Al2O3 dot 3H2O. So this Al2O3 on complete calcination, by converting them to its respective powders and extracting them into formation, concentrating them into metal ore, and then on calcination we get its form of Al2O3. Okay, so this Al2O3 3H2O is treated with sodium hydroxide. Al2O3 is treated with sodium hydroxide. So 3H2O is present here, aqueous medium. So this Al2O3 on treating with sodium hydroxide forms a compound called sodium aluminate. This forms a compound called sodium aluminate, that is NaAlO2 dot 3H2O. So this is NaAlO2 dot 3H2O. This compound is called as sodium aluminate. So this sodium aluminate is in the aqueous state and is further precipitated to respective aluminium oxide. So the sodium aluminate which we have taken over here is precipitated to its respective form of aluminium oxide, that is again Al2O3. Now in this case we don't have any impurities, most of the impurities have been removed completely. Once this Al2O3 is prepared, once this Al2O3 is extracted from its sodium aluminate, we treat them with a compound such as, for example, Na3AlF6 or CaF2. So the use of Na3AlF6 or CaF2 is, they reduce the melting point of aluminium oxide. NaAlF6 or CaF2 reduces the melting point of aluminium oxide, because aluminium oxide has a very high melting point. If you take that particular aluminium oxide for just directly electrolyzing them, we won't get a reaction at a higher rate. So therefore what we do is, we mix this aluminium oxide with sodium aluminum ferrate. So this reduces the melting point of aluminium oxide. So this complete molecule or complete compound is taken in its molten state. Okay. Once we take this molten NaAlF6 with Al2O3 mixture, we take them in a container in order to electrolyze them. So that process is called Herold's process of extraction. So in this process, what we name it as is Herold process of aluminium extraction by electrolysis. That is Herold's process of extraction. So what we do in this is, we take a huge graphite container. Which is placed inside one more container which acts as a extraction point. So in this huge graphite container, this is acting as a cathode. So the huge graphite container is acting as a cathode. In this we are taking our molten NaAlF6 and Al2O3 compound. We are taking NaAlF6 and Al2O3 compound. And this compound, in this compound we are dissolving or immersing one more electrode, that is our anode, which is formed again by graphite rods. So this we are using one more graphite rods which are attached to one another, linked to one another using a copper plate. So these are the graphite rods and these are connected using a copper plate, and this acts as our anode. This acts as our cathode. Okay. Once this solution is Na3AlF6 along with Al2O3. Once we pass current through this solution with the help of cathode and anode, with the help of cathode and anode, the aluminium present in the solution, starts melting. This is the point where we use sodium aluminium ferrate. So this reduces the aluminium melting point. So the aluminium present over here gets reduced to its respective Al. That is, in this case of Al2O3, Al is of the type Al3+. So the electrons present in the cathode make this aluminium get reduced. So aluminium get attracted towards the electrons at cathode. So the reaction at cathode, what happening is, at cathode, aluminium reacts with the 3 electrons, that is electrons coming from the cathode, and those are electrons coming from the anode, and those molecules combine with one another and get reduced to aluminium. So that leaves us our molten aluminium at the bottom. So this leaves us molten aluminium. Okay. So this molten aluminium is later can be separated out using our extraction point. Now, once the electrons have been completely used by the Al3+ atoms, we have Al3+ getting completely converted to molten aluminium. But at anode, so this is at anode. At cathode, what we observe is the chamber which we have taken in the shape of graphite rod, that is nothing but our carbon. So those carbon consume up the oxygen present. Those carbon consume up the oxygen liberated by reduction of aluminium and get converted to carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide. Okay. So this is the complete process of aluminium extraction. So what are we going to do here is, we are going to take a complete big graphite rod tank. So this is a graphite tank in which we take our mixture of Na3AlF6 along with Al2O3. In this solution of Al2O3 and NaAlF6, we dip our another graphite rods which is considered as anode, and those are connected by a copper plate. Once a high electron charge is passed between these two electrodes, the aluminium present in the solution gets reduced to its respective aluminium. So aluminium ion present in the solution gets reduced to aluminium at the anode, and that molten aluminium settles down at the bottom. Okay. So the oxygen which are liberated by the reduction of aluminium will be consumed up by the carbon or nothing but the graphite present at the cathode, and they form our carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide. So this is the process of aluminium extraction by electrometallurgy. Okay. Next is hydrometallurgy process for extraction of copper. next we are going to discuss is about hydrometallurgy process using hydrometallurgy process for extraction of copper. So as I said in the earlier case, we use iron for reducing copper, right? We use iron for reducing copper because it has a greater electrode potential for getting reduced. Okay, so that is when you treat Cu2 plus with iron, we can convert Cu2 plus to Cu. In which case we observe that Fe is getting oxidized to Fe2 plus. This process is called extraction of metal using one more metal which has a reducing property. So if you split down this reaction, it is nothing but Cu2 plus is gaining 2 electrons to form Cu, whereas Fe2 plus, Fe is losing 2 electrons to form Fe2 plus. Okay, Cu2 plus is gaining 2 electrons, Cu2 plus is gaining 2 electrons to form Cu, Fe is losing 2 electrons to form Fe2 plus. So on adding these two reactions, we can observe that 2 electrons from this and 2 electrons from this get cancelled out, leaving behind our overall reaction as Cu2 plus plus Fe giving Cu plus Fe2 plus. So this is the hydrometallurgy process. Hydrometallurgy process for extraction of copper. So this is the hydrometallurgy process which we are going to use for extraction of copper from its purest forms, from blister copper or etc. Okay, so this is how we do it. We can either also use hydrogen instead of iron because copper can be reduced by hydrogen also. So this is about hydrometallurgy process for extraction of copper. Next is the last process of reduction, the last process of extraction of metal, that is oxidation and reduction. Oxidation and reduction. The last process of extraction is oxidation and reduction. So metal can be oxidized and reduced simultaneously in order to get its purest form. In this process, what we are going to extract is metals such as silver and gold. Silver and gold can be used in order to extract them, that is oxidation and reduction process can be used for extraction of silver and gold. So what we do over here is, first we are going to leach them with cyanide ion. We are going to leaching a process. We are going to use the process of leaching, that is we are using cyanide ions to oxidize Ag to Ag2 plus, Au to Au plus, and then we treat them with a suitable reducing agent and convert them to its respective metal again. Okay, so for first Cn minus leaching. So when we treat Ag with Cn minus ions in presence of H2O, we get Ag Cn twice with minus charge. Ag Cn twice with a minus charge. So Ag, and you can similarly Au on treating with Cn minus in the presence of water, we get Au Cn twice of minus charge. So this is how, in this particular condition, charge of Ag and Au is 0, but in this case charge of Ag and Au will be plus 1. So that is, we are oxidizing or leaching our metal silver or gold by treating them with cyanide. So Ag get converted to AgCN twice with minus charge, Au get converted to AuCN twice with a minus charge. Once we get this compound, what we are going to do is, we treat them with suitable reducing agent such as zinc. Zinc reduction. We use zinc as a suitable reducing agent for this process. We treat our AuCN twice to the power minus charge with suitable zinc atom. So this zinc solid reduces Au to form, reduces Au plus to Au along with formation of ZnCN. ZnCN twice. So this is how we are going to extract silver or gold using oxidation and reduction process. So what did we do here is, First we oxidized Ag to its respective Ag plus state, AU to its respective AU plus state, and later we reduced those cyanides of AU and Ag to its respective metal. So here the plus 1 state of AU is reduced to 0 of AU. So this is the process of oxidation and reduction. One more, what is the application of this oxidation and reduction is we can extract non-metals. We can extract non-metals using this oxidation and reduction process. One example for that is we can extract chlorine from seawater using this process. That is a preparation of brine solution. In the preparation of brine solution, what we do is we first reduce chlorine to Cl minus, and then we are going to take away that minus charge to form Cl2. Okay, so that is how we are going to do this process of oxidation and reduction. So this is all about for today. That is about the electrometallurgy, hydrometallurgy and oxidation and reduction process for extraction of metal to its purest form. Okay, so if you have any doubts regarding these topics, please do comment down below, and you can also mail me at my mail address which I have given in the description box. If you like the video, please subscribe to my channel and share this among your friends, and thank you for watching.